Okay.
Attention, please.
Yo. 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 Yo.
Welcome to your inspirational astrology horoscope for Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. I'm astrologer Dave Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Thanks so much for being a part of highvibe.tv. If you are not, you definitely should. Make sure that you subscribe. You get access to all my daily horoscopes and, of course, the awesome weekly shows and all of the different shows that I do on High Vibe TV. Plus, of course, I just did my Gemini Unbound special going into Uranus Gemini and how that adds to everything we've been going through. You can rent it for $12 or, of course, purchase it forever or be a subscriber to High Vibe Premium to get access to all my special content that I do. But you're also missing out on all of the shows and all the schools and all the different things that are happening on High Vibe every single day, and our community as well. It's good to be with you, of course. I always show up not just High Vibe, but on YouTube for the new or full moon horoscope. And no, Sophia and I, our son has not been born yet. He is now technically going to be 2 days late. So he could be a new moon baby. He could be when the new moon ends, but he definitely has made it past the squares to Saturn and Neptune by the Sun and Jupiter. So that was my hope, and it happened. So I appreciate you all being here. We got quite a time we're living in. Jeez, I've said that for so long now, but it's true. But I do feel that, this new moon definitely gets us into a different vibe, and there is a bit of course, hope. We got Jupiter, but it's not the traditional just, I've been seeing people post the luckiest day of the year because Jupiter is in conjunction with the sun. Well, not all the time, especially when the moon's the ruler of Cancer and the moon was in Gemini. But let's get into this new moon horoscope because it actually is with the moon in Cancer. So we are seeing this new moon happen at 3:31 a.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time. In the UK, that's 7 hours later. So you're getting around, what is that, 10 a.m., 10:31 a.m. UK time. And we are seeing this with a new moon in Cancer that is literally where I think this is the best part about it. It is after the squares to Saturn, Neptune at the beginning of Aries, and we've just seen the conjunction from the Sun and Jupiter in that Cazimi moment. And it is weird because this is the exact same transit that was happening back during 1776 when Jupiter and the Sun missed conjuncting in Gemini and met in Cancer, and then the weeks after we saw the Declaration of Independence. So that doesn't happen all the time. For example, 12 years ago, we had a Sun Jupiter in Gemini, not Cancer. It then went into Cancer after, or I think it might have missed Cancer because it went to Leo in 2014, Sun Jupiter Leo. And so we miss Cancer. There's some times where you miss the Sun Jupiter. So this whole luckiest day of the year shit. In the case of this new moon, this would be the luckier day because of the fact the moon rules Cancer. And that's why it's getting a +9. Okay. This you can't see behind me, but this exalted Jupiter's at +4. The moon's the ruler. And so this is a good new moon because we're seeing all these energies off this coming into a separating aspect from these major squares. These last couple weeks since the full moon that we had in Sagittarius, oh boy, we've been in crazy odds too. We've had this Mars in sextile to Jupiter. Now we have the new moon in sextile to Mars, and we're seeing that Mars finish up the quincunx energy as well with Jupiter still in quincunx to Pluto with this new moon, and this has been to Pluto. And then we've been seeing Mars, the other top of this other yod that's been going on from Pluto and sextile to Neptune and back over. So we've been having these yods that are actually breaking apart at the same time. And these aren't fun yods, okay? Especially we've been seeing the war stuff. We've been seeing this extreme kind of like way to operate that's not working. You know, what I'm going to say about this new moon is we have to expand into places that the discomforts are the sign of the door that's opening. Hence, I made many thumbnails, but I couldn't decide which one. But, for example, right here, and then under my dailies, and then my dailies 2025, and then I have my new moon Cancer. So like, this was the first one I had done, right? And what does this mean? I like to show a visual. The quincunx to Pluto and Aquarius, this new world to be comfortable in, with outside energies that we're not used to. And with Saturn and Neptune that have been in square, it's this not just a remodel, it's a completely new world that's being born, that of course we're all going to retract back into Pisces come this fall and late summer with Saturn, and you know, try and get off the old world like a bad parasite. So this is us finally through the big squares with Jupiter to Saturn, Jupiter to Neptune. Finally, this new moon with Jupiter and off the squares coming off. And it's about this understanding that we have just this little moment to appreciate that we can, okay, this is very new, very different. But we all are ready to step up with a new set of confidence and restore wholesomeness in our life in a way that we haven't seen, that I would say, since Pluto came into Capricorn in 2008. Because of the fact that everybody is, what's the next thing? Where do I go next? Well, now that Pluto's out of Capricorn, it's not so much about the end goal or the fame or your success. The success is embodying who you really are. There's a couple others I did. I did this one. I think that was the one I ended up using. I like that one the best. It was me getting served by a grandma alien, some nice soup, and this Jupiter in weird quincunx to Pluto and Aquarius, and this new moon coming off that Saturn-Neptune square. That house signifies this new matrix, this matrix ending and kind of coming out of it, but it also represents that it's been very heavy and harsh, and the walls have been torn, and you know, it represents the rawness though of where we're at, which is a good thing. And so we're experiencing raw emotion and having to get comfortable. You know, in today's world, like, people won't even go outside under a full moon and lay down unless they make it an Instagram thing, or they make sure they go to Walmart and buy a chair or something. Like, you know, in many ways, this is us, whenever you go through quite a lot in the world and us expanding into these new places emotionally, that this is where the new adventure is, right? It's about getting out of our comfort zones and finding the new ones, and the ones that are part of this new energy in this new world. The last one that I have is this one. I didn't use this one though. It's me like in a future pod, like reading a book. That one was boring. But going back to where we're at astrologically, we have a lot going on. This Mars in Virgo to me is one of the most important planets to pay attention to. I know people are obsessed with Jupiter and they need to get over their obsession with Jupiter, okay? Especially because it's here to teach us. Number one, it's a guru. It's not about fortune, okay? It's not about good luck. It's about appreciation of like, okay, the universe definitely moves some fucking crazy shit to make us get to this place where we are probably more safe and secure than we could have been. But it's about Mars with the South Node in Virgo. So if you think of the Matrix, or you think of that, how we embody ourselves in our lives, it's this operating book of like, I operate this way. This is the way that my life works, my day-to-day life, my schedule. And this Mars is, of course, being disposited because of the fact that Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron are in Aries. So they're dispositing Mars, and it's in Virgo. So they're trying to find this operating system of how to define this new embodiment of the honest, true self. And you can't just operate a new world the way that the old world was operated. And so it's going to make people feel discomfort because Jupiter's saying we got to go to these new places. I mean, just the fact that I don't care where you are politically, where you are, and just like you pay attention to the fake media of life or the illusion, or you believe it's true or you don't, whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody's put themselves in the position of what would it be like if I'm going to experience World War III. And that's what you have to look at more of what Jupiter's about. It's about a vision. It's about an expansion. It's about, am I going to go on this journey? And do you have the full control of that? The problem is control. There is no comfort with control. We have the illusion, though, of control as being comfort. And that's been the problem because Pluto in Capricorn from 2008 to 2024, right? Like, no, just because you get success and money or you get the job doesn't mean it's comfortable. If anything, it means you're stripped away of that wholesome vibe. I'd rather take having a grandma alien giving me some freaking slop in a fucking old 1800s New York City apartment that I did with a new mayor that looks like the creepiest, weirdest shit to ever happen. But at the same time, maybe it will be better. I don't know. This is where the new radical things are, especially with Uranus that's at the end of Taurus here. I mean, we gotta raise the bar in our lives. And what's that bar to raise? Our values and our self-worth. And with Venus and Taurus in semi-square to this new moon and to Jupiter, it's finishing its semi-square to Neptune and to Saturn. It was at the midpoint of the Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune square. And what it is that your way to self-nurture yourself and nurture this new world is where your values need to be at. And also to realize that wholesomeness and a new way to operate and not falling for the old illusion that the handbook and the, using the same play as a quarterback in a football game and just always running the same slots ain't gonna work no more. You gotta have some completely new ways to do things and experience new emotions. But this is about how do we restore a part of ourselves now that's not just wearing a mask with Saturn, Neptune, and Aries. This is like, you can see through people now. Like, this is who you are. You have to physically embody. So you can't be feeling safe anymore and just operating off, well, I'm nurturing this situation, even though it might be the worst relationship, or it might be the worst job, or it might be this, right? Like, it's all these things that just, you're too afraid to go through a little discomfort to get to the most epic place to actually take care of yourself better. And also at the same time, it feels complicated, but it's not. The complication is you afraid to go through new experiences. And we're doing this collectively, of a world and emotions and this is part of also in human design. This 2027 was we are shifting gears out of this cross of planning and into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. Like, it's going to feel way different. The operating systems do not work the way they did. And, you know, you can't fester, baby, nurture these false operating things in your life, you know. And because we're in Saturn and Neptune and Aries, and these two are slowing down a lot, you know, we're going to see Neptune retrograde July 4th. We're going to see Saturn retrograde on July 12th. We're going to see Uranus in between that, ingressing into Gemini. Like, we got a lot ahead. And we also are just in the next like week and a half to, you know, by the time July 4th comes, when we see Neptune retrograde, and then, you know, Saturn retrograde July 12th, Uranus comes in the 7th. I mean, like, this is where you make your moves now. We're finally gotten quite a lot to look at when it comes to like, this is who I can embody myself as, and I have to physically do it. I can't put this idea of control anymore to make myself feel better. That's not going to work. That's a false lie, and that's pretty much your ego at this point. Like, I'm going to control things. I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to get out of this hellhole relationship that I may be, or this job, or this spiritual life. Like, you no longer can you just, where there's disrespect, where there's energy that's disrupting high value, which the highest value now is compassion, for actually allowing yourself to go, I've got stuck, but I'm not going to get stuck anymore. We have to remember Neptune and Aries is, the compassion is, because I'm getting out of being stuck, I can be compassionate to myself for being dumb and not doing anything, but now I'm doing something. You can't give the excuse anymore of like, well, I'm still sitting in the shit. Saturn is holding Neptune to account, even though Saturn's in its fall position. So this Jupiter in Cancer is like helping us. It's not good luck, okay? If I hear another TikTok fucking astrologer just say the luckiest day, the luck, okay, luck is not even Jupiter, it's Uranus, because luck is something that comes out of nowhere. Okay? You have to participate with Jupiter. You have to go to school. You have to go through the experience. You have to believe. You have to experience. And you have to be tested with that belief, whether you like it or not. So to me, it's like, this is where things can go beneficial for you. It's the great benefic with the whole experience. The whole experience. And in Cancer, the moon changes every 2.5 days. So the reason why the Jupiter's exalted in Cancer is because the moon moves every 2.5 days, to where every month it comes home, every month it's exalted, and depending on dispositing factors, it could have increased scores for Jupiter constantly, but it can also have, you know, when the moon's in Scorpio, but even though it's in trine, but, you know, it all depends on the situation, or if the moon's in Capricorn, like, you know, it's going to have moments where it's not at its best. It depends on where the position is too, right? This is the Cazimi that's just happened, right? So like, we have to remember that, like, right now you can't see Jupiter, right? Having a night chart with Jupiter that could be seen, that's when it's like bomb. Right now it's like, this is about a deeper understanding of, this is now the moment for you to embed fully into the adventure of a lifetime, a new world, the true version of yourself. And everybody can say they've are the most authentic version of themselves. But the truth is, this is going to push you to the limit that you've never been before, of like, nope, not going to deal with bullshit anymore. Not going to deal with these vibes of myself, because this is all self-responsibility of self-care. No, stop nursing that problem in your life. Stop nursing that person that's not good for you. There's a lot of like actual, real, crazy, selfish people out there. And we all have a couple or one or just somebody, and it's like, no more. It's not even about feeding them the energy anymore. What are we providing for ourselves that takes care of those that really value us back? that's a big part of this. And people who are not connected to family and true security through like expressing emotion and actually caring about your emotion just as much as theirs, it's going to be easy to see who's just a piece of shit right now. And it's going to be very uncomfortable for people who really just want to run the old system in their life. Like, you know what? We have a system. It works. I don't want to disrupt my life. I don't want to make it feel uncomfortable at all. And it's like, that's actually the problem, right? Like, you're too afraid to step outside and explore this new earth, this new world that's going to require you to nurture that new world that's not going to take bullshit anymore, or, you know, things that you have to just always, it reminds me of people who just are allowing these kind of like toxic energies to control them, and they believe that that control makes them safer. You know, this is a loud world. It's going to get louder when Uranus comes into Gemini, and we are very close. We are less than 2 weeks. So, you know, I think with Mercury now in Cancer at the end of it, and it's about to make its ingress into Leo, where it'll be until September 2nd. So we're going to see a Mercury in Leo that's going to be here for over 2 months after this new moon. And this Mercury Leo is going to watch Uranus move signs, Venus. It's going to see Saturn retrograde back into Pisces. It's going to see Mars move signs into, all the way into Libra too. It's going to, of course, see the sun and moon go through a couple of new moon cycles and get ready for the eclipses. So, you know, the Mercury opposite Pluto is really when it comes into Leo, and it's going to be in trine. It's beginning its trine to Saturn, Neptune. And that's where it's like the confidence comes from. I need to be able to express myself, have fun, and not live in this kind of systematic way. And North Node's in Pisces. Allow myself to spiritually, especially but though it's dispositing Neptune and Aries, fully let my soul physically embody and be easy to identify as this is who I am, instead of the false mask you put on, you know, the horrible job. But yeah, I like being here. Yeah, right. I don't want to go through this all these discomforts. Like, shut the fuck up. That's going to just drain all of your energy. I mean, it's been bare bones dried. Pluto and Capricorn for all those years. With Jupiter, Pluto that conjuncted. Now we're in the quincunx of Jupiter, Pluto, since the Jupiter, Pluto conjuncted 3 times in Capricorn. The last time it conjuncted 3 times was Jupiter and Pluto in Leo back at the end of the 50s. So mid 50s. So, you know, this is the first well that we have seen, especially in the last 5.5 years. But if you go back to 2008, this is the first moment that there is a well of water. There is some energy to restore. And you've got to put this higher frequency of your highest self-worth now. And you don't need to go criticize or do any of that. This is where it's like self-care. Yeah, it's a new world. And not be afraid of these radically new ways to, you know, it's not about solving problems. It's more about integrating easy, basic solutions into your life instead of continuing to try and solve a big problem where there's incompatibilities. There's a lot of incompatibilities. You know, we're seeing that with Holy War. They're all incompatible, and that means religion is incompatible with humanity. It's served its purpose through Age of Pisces, but it's not a comfortable place to be. 2, there are relationships. Some people like cheese, some people don't. Some people like, you know, this music, some people don't. But you can find a lot of common ground and care for each other and values that are, you know, we have to look at our values now and go, where emotionally and actually what values really do we want to embed and hold to nurture ourselves and take care of ourselves better. And I guarantee you it's not money. It's about these bigger things that connect us and are, again, solutions to just apply opposed to solutions to find, right? Jupiter's not here to go find a solution. especially it's not in Aquarius. Some people might be fooled with the quincunx to Pluto. It's not. It's more like I'm not going to nurture something that is not nurturing me back. I'm not going to continue to put my self-care away from the true needs of my life, the true comforts, the true things that bring wholesome vibes. The good thing with Mars, even though it's with the South Node and it's dispositing that Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron Aries, is like there is a healthier way in your life. In a simpler way. It's about simple. All these extra things you're putting on top of your life to try to succeed and control, and it's subconscious control with Neptune, right? They're causing you to overload your system, and you're freaking out and stress. How do you de-stress now? Being the full, truest version of yourself possible, and not bullshitting yourself anymore and saying, I got to keep doing this or being with this person. Because with Venus and Uranus, we're going to see these two do something rare. We're going to see, since the whole Venus transit so far in Taurus for the last couple weeks, it's been with Uranus. Well, guess what? They're going to conjunct at the end of Taurus. And then what? Uranus comes into Gemini when Venus is at 2 degrees, and guess what happens? Then Venus is going to have Uranus in the same sign for most of the Gemini transit. So this is going to be about people. The fact that this new moon's in quincunx to Pluto in Aquarius, it's in semi-square to Venus. This has to deal with who are the people that are cool and get it and can emotionally connect, and who are not. And the people that can't are egomaniacs. They only care about themselves. They don't know how to nurture anything. And they're wearing a false mask of who they are. And that's what I think a big part of this is going to be, how you get back to simplicity and how you get into the healthier version of your life. These are going to be difficult experiences, though, with Saturn and Neptune still in square to Jupiter, because no matter what you might want to believe, the comfort is only going to come through very intense choices and making sure that they are pure and that they are fully embedded in you not wearing this false identity and mask, and that you're not only that, but connecting with energy that's false. So anything that feels false, that's impure, that's not in true spiritual alignment, it is so easy to see. But if you're in denial, that is the most uncomfortable place to be. But you're buying the idea that not doing something about it and being a pacifist for your own self, I mean, at that point, I guess you are going to experience every emotion possible, and it doesn't even have to be World War III. It'll be World War IV in your own personal life. But there's deep connection with us learning that, you know, you can get served soup from an alien who at least will connect with you and talk with you and emotionally have the same values about the wholesome things in life, and not just about individual, you know, with Jupiter and Neptune square, you know, people want to be idolized right now. And that's how, you know, it's like, get the fuck away. Or people are lost into idolizing people. Like, get out of that. This is also where, I mean, the writing has been on the wall. I've been saying it for years that the holy wars were going to come at this time because Jupiter square Neptune with Saturn. You're clinging to your religion and the idols, and you're not even supposed to do idols if you're one of these religious people, and you really believe that your side is doing these epic things and stuff. It's not. If anything, it's causing all the problems in the world. So I think that the biggest new comfort that we all have to find is, how do we get the hell away from all these crazy religious people who really believe that the end of the world is the greatest moment? They don't realize, though, that the end of the world is the end of the world, not that they think, but the end of the old world with their religions in it. Like, that's the apocalypse. That's their revelation. That's all. there is no savior coming down. Their savior is the divine transformation of this, and people embodying their true self. And this is evolution in humanity now. This is not clinging on to people that have wanted to control others and their beliefs and make them compliant and make them feel safe because they cling to a verse that, to be honest with you, was chosen whether the book stood on the table or not, made by a bunch of men who had to convert to become certain religions in order to just keep it going, a lot like a politician today. I know some people might not want to hear that, and I have all the respect for you in the world. If you hate me or you don't like me, I still care about you, and I don't judge you based off any of this stuff. But I think what you've seen over these last weeks, it's a holy war. And it's all three major religions, and you always see them back each other and then not back each other. And they all have their eye on what they think is the promised land. I just put up on my Substack, it's for free for 2 weeks, all my Substack articles, but about that the last time that Uranus was in Gemini, then we had Pluto and Aquarius and Neptune and Aries, which we're about to have in the next 2 weeks, was the exact moment after the 40 years of the Israelites getting kicked out of Egypt, but Exodus. I believe we're about to see an Exodus here of Israelites. It's the exact same fucking transit. And this is just me speaking as an astrologer. I don't know where they're going to go. Maybe they're going to go to Ukraine, or they're going to go to maybe the prophecies of the Mormons, right? To America. But the writing's on the wall. Especially after today, the news. An American president just told them, fuck you. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Oh, shit. To both sides. And that now you're going to see both sides maybe say, fuck you back. That's where it's going to get weird. And this is where, to be honest with you, none of these places are safe for you. Be careful. This is how the age of Aquarius begins. And, we do get this huge moment to reflect on what's been going on. And we do get some moments to kind of breathe here, but it doesn't last long. So, this new moon is really go make these changes now and be your true self. Break away from the things that hold you back and that keep you running in this kind of trying to prove your purity in order to get some sort of admiration by something that might not even be there in the way that you even think that it would come, and especially by people on this planet that really don't give a fuck about you. Let's see what we got card-wise. And I'll let people know when our son is born. I mean, he's going to come when he comes. He's definitely waited for better astrology, so I'm happy about that. And I appreciate all the love and support, especially to my wife, Sophia, because she's definitely the one that's going through all the work, being a woman who's pregnant. And she's at 40 plus weeks now. So Aurora was, 6 days late. So that's kind of how I guess our kids work. And my daughter, who's going to be 2 in August, she has a new moon, hours after the new moon. So I'm like, he might come today. Be a 5 of clubs like me. There's a 5 of clubs day too, by the way, if you do follow any of the cards of destiny. So this is definitely a new moon that's you need to start. You need to know how to do a lot of things, and you need to be smart, and you need to be the seeker of truth. And that seeker of truth is, if you're a Cancer 5 of clubs, it has to be through, going through these discomforts, especially with these squares to Saturn and Neptune right now. Are you really going to live this fake, version of yourself that has worked for so long and it won't work anymore, and just continue it? some people are going to double down on that fake shit. And because they can't form their own identity. It's like, I've based my identity off this really fucked up situation, and it's comfortable, and I don't want to disrupt it. But what are you really not valuing at that point? Not just yourself, but what other people are involved. Uranus, Taurus, and with Venus and Taurus there, and the semi-square to the new moon, plus with Pluto and quincunx. Like, you know, you might be on the wrong side, where some people are going to be going through hell with people that are really fucked up people, and they might cut you off because they are so lost in the situation. You got to have empathy for them, but just know they'll figure it out. Don't take things so personally right now. Take things personally about you getting on the right track for yourself and being your full self for this new world, and not going off the old playbooks, the old slot routines. Let's do a shotgun and we'll do it. We're 4th and long. We'll get a touchdown this time. No, you're not. Stop playing that. All right, what do we got card-wise here? Wow, we got the World card. Coming to an end, right? The completions and new beginnings. But, you know, I think it's about admiring what we've accomplished and what we've reached in our lives. And now it's time for a new door to open in our lives. I mean, like, so I don't know why this thing was not focusing good, but yeah. And, oh, wow. Yep. The new world that's ending and a new world that's beginning is one where you are not lying to yourself. One where it's not shady shit. You can't, it's going to be so easy to see who's shady now. It's not, it's like x-ray vision of shadiness now. Just like, shady, piece of shit, fucking liar, deflector, guilty as fuck. Like, like, don't lie to yourself. And definitely don't continue to try and keep a world running that's off a lie, that you could totally finally exit this world into the new world that we're all entering in, not with a bunch of deception and crazy shit. But if you're still lost in the weird sauce, still clinging to the old way of this idolization shit, I just don't see a good personal life happening. I appreciate you all very much. I can't wait to see you on High Vibe TV. I'll definitely let you all know my socials when our son is born. I appreciate all the support. I know my family does too, and Sophia, and we'll see you on the next one. We'll see you on High Vibe TV. Thanks so much.
Yo. Okay.
Attention, please.